Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Craig here from Giffers Electrical. Today we're doing one room in this property, which is an additional socket above a TV or behind a TV that's going to go on the wall, and an aerial point, and then we're also installing spotlights into a textured ceiling and removing the existing fittings. Apologies there haven't been any videos in the last 3 weeks. Had some family stuff going on, which meant I just wasn't in a position to film. So yeah, back now, ready to get out. So we got one today. So today's Tuesday, so this will probably come out probably Thursday evening. And then next week we've got a CCTV and alarm install at our 300-year-old house. So yeah, some good videos coming up in the next couple of weeks. So I'll just quickly show you the room that we're working in. So this is the room, not massive, but it's like an L shape. This is the wall that our TV's going on. So this is the back wall where those pipes are. That's the back wall to the exterior of the house. We're going to come off this socket here, come across the wall, bring it up, and somewhere within this vicinity will be our double socket and an aerial point, which will then feed out to the outside wall and then straight up into the loft, which is where the aerial is. Two light fittings, this lovely fan and that light over there, they're going. We need to investigate this one a little bit more because the actual light does not switch off other than through the pull cord on the chain. So if I go to the switch, this is the one that should control that light. And it does nothing. So we need to investigate that, whereas the other switch does indeed turn that one off. So it's a textured ceiling, as I said. Now, it's been checked. It is not asbestos related. It's just a lovely textured ceiling. So, like I said, I need to figure out a way of putting in our downlights, but also making them flush with the ceiling. So maybe a bit of sandpaper, sand that off and whatnot, or get the multi-tool sander out. So the fireplace is going to go over to the back wall there. The TV is also going onto that back wall, and then eventually I think the plan is the furniture will also then kind of shift round. Client's got a corner sofa on order, so that'll be round here. So yeah, that's where we're at. The age of the building means that they haven't used floorboards upstairs. It's actually chipboard. So if we haven't got much access via the floorboards upstairs. The rooms are occupied and full, so we're not really going to be able to take the carpets back and things like that in those rooms. We've got access to the landing above the little corner bit, so we'll be able to potentially use that. Worst case scenario, we're just going to have to drill holes, or put holes in the ceiling and run our cables and fish them that way, and then seal them back up as best as possible. So I'm going to get all the tools in, and then we'll get cracking. Catch you in a bit. Right guys, as you can see, we've come up to here. We'll basically come, go and drill out through there and then go up. So chase is done. Not my neatest, but it's just the plaster just top layer of plaster just falls off. So box is chased out, down, back into there. So yeah, next step is to drill through here at an angle, and then what I'll do is I'll basically I don't need to cap it, but I will cap it up and down, and we're literally, this is just going to be a spur off the ring. We're not going to extend the ring in any way, so just spur off there, up to the double socket, and literally all that's going to be running off there is a TV and potentially the DVD player, which low use, and then yeah, cable out for the TV aerial. So that's it for now. Catch you in a bit. So first part of the fill's done. So actually, look, it's looking really good. I mean, it's obviously, that's just first fill, so you know, it's going to need sanding and probably a second fill, but that's for the client to sort out. When this dries, I'm going to put in a second coat. This I filled first and then was able to put in another coat. After an hour, it actually lets you put in another coat, so or another fill. So the reason I haven't done this yet is we've still got to get the cable. Unfortunately, CEF have decided not to deliver. Well, it's not CEF actually, it's FedEx, claiming that they attempted delivery but it never happened. I've been in the property all morning and they're saying that nobody was in, so that's complete tosh. So I'm waiting on the cable for this, along with a couple of bits and pieces. So yeah, can't actually do anything more at this moment in time. So I will see you in a little bit when, which will be tomorrow, when the kit actually arrives. So I'll catch you later. Okay, so cables in for aerial feed. So we've gone through, cappings on. We've got a nice clean movement in there. The chase has now been obviously filled, and that's first fill. So I might put a second skim on because I've got to do the rest of the chase, and then obviously just second fill the one to the socket. So that's all done. We're literally just waiting on a delivery from FedEx for the actual stuff for the rest of the house. So we're obviously day 2 now. Feed going up to the loft. Don't know how well you can see, that's a straight up. Client didn't want conduit or anything, so we've got some cabling. So always give yourself, if you're coming out, give yourself a nice little service loop. So my holes always come downwards. In this case, I measured up and drilled at a slight upward angle and hit the beauty spot. So my cable comes down out the wall, continues down, so we then have this nice service loop here. So any water, this will be filled with some sealant anyway, so you're not going to see that. And then service loop down, so any water that does come onto the brickwork, the cabling, is literally just going to focus down to this point. So yeah, so get that clipped in right up to the soffit there, so that's done, and then it goes into the loft. So cable's been routed in the loft. It is an absolute shambles in there, so what I've done is best as possible, which is out the way, but there's loads and loads of stuff in place. So this light here, the reason it's only functions off this switch is because it's instead of being connected to the switch live, they've actually just used the permanent live that links the two fittings together. So they've just fed it off the perm live and left it so that you can just do it on the switch. So when we obviously remove those and we put the spots in, effectively we'll correct that so that it's back to normal working off a switch. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in a bit when I start doing the fill. So guys, this is what I use to basically backfill. If I have to backfill, I try and avoid doing it wherever possible because it's not my forte. There are people out there that are obviously much better at it than I am. I use Easy Fill 60 and literally a bit of water in the bottom of the bucket, put the plaster filler in and just keep stirring it, and then just gradually top it up until you get that, so you can leave it on your trowel and it doesn't really go anywhere, and then keep mixing it, and yeah, that's what I use. So I'm not gonna try and do it one-handed, fill and skim. I might. Let's see how it goes. So a little bit on the. This ain't gonna work very well. So the best way to do it is obviously build it up in layers, if you can. So I mean, this wall's needs sanding anyway, but you get the gist. So, and then yeah, just that'll fill up nicely. So I'm gonna crack on and fill this in. But I'm not going to try and do it one-handed, so I'll catch you guys in a bit when that will be filled. Okay, so this is the partial fill, and basically you can reapply after an hour. So we'll let that set and then I'll go over it again. But yeah, it's not looking too bad, to be fair. And then yeah, we can get everything sorted on here, get the TV mount bracket, connect it all up, test it. So I've already tested the before I put it back together, I've tested the socket outlets just to obviously check it was a ring. Like I said, resistance is a little high, so what I'll do while I wait for that to set, I'll go around and check all the sockets. Basically it's going to have to check every socket because there's only one ring final circuit for the entire property. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 5 double sockets in this particular room. And then you've got 1 double down there. The kitchen's got 1, 2, 3. I think there's maybe a double behind there as well. Yeah, right down at the very bottom I think there's a double. So that's going to be fun, getting the fridge out. And then upstairs, and because it's a small place, I mean it's only a 2-bed, so and I think the bedrooms have got 2 sockets in them each, maybe 3. So yeah, I'll go around and check all those, and then while I wait for that to dry, catch you in a bit. Okay, right guys, so that is now the it's been re-skimmed. All the parts of the chase are re-skimmed. I have to say it's looking nice and tidy. So yeah. Two coats. Seeing as I'm here, I just let it dry and then redid it. So we've got spur coming off the final circuit. We've got the aerial feed. So everything is within zones. So from the double socket down and across to the lost train of thought, to the ring final circuit, and then the aerial feed also then goes straight horizontal to the back wall. There we go. So while we're in the living room, I am literally marking out. So we've got the laser level going, and we've got our markings. So we've basically, these are going to be, as I said before, these are 2 zones. So it's just like a little dining area, this bit. So they just want a couple of spotlights. So we've got 4 spots in here. So we're coming 500 off the walls, and then I've with a bit of a careful knock-in, we're going to come in 40 from the corner of the wall. So I used the laser to get my initial markings. So yeah, 40 from that. So 40 from that inside wall, and 50s on these sides. So and then we'll come out again the same on all the walls. So the spots will actually line up accordingly. So we've got 4 spots for this larger area. So where it'll mark up, you've got 4, 4, there'll be 4 here, and then another 4 in this section here where you got the door. So yeah, it's going to look nice when it's done. Just need to kind of sand when it is a textured ceiling, but it's not asbestos textured. It's just somebody did a rough job with the roller deliberately, so we just need to probably sand it down. So we'll cut the holes and then just sand down the edges so that we've got the downlights, which will be JCC V50s. They'll go in and we'll just sand around the edge to give it a nice smooth finish so that the spot sits flush. All right, so I'll see you in a bit. Right guys, holes have been cut. We are now at a stage where we need to wire up. The issue that we've got is obviously we've got no access to the floorboards from upstairs. There's it's an occupied house and there's just no access, and they are chipboard floors. So it means cutting every one as well if we actually had access. So we're gonna have to do it for the old-fashioned way, and basically the holes from left to right or right to left are fine. So we're gonna have to try and get to the light fitting, or yeah, something. It may mean putting in some 100mm holes just so we can then either side of the joist or something, or just so we can cut it really, because we're probably gonna have to do that on all of them. I haven't checked these ones. If we've got a straight run down here, brilliant. I don't think we do though. I think there are actually, the joists are running this way. So between those, there's an issue. But between those ones, these ones here, the joists actually run this way. So I can actually get from there to there, but not from there to there. So yeah, fun. So I'm going to tackle that and I'll catch you in a little bit. Okay, right. So cables are in. Part of the ceiling looks a bit like Swiss cheese, but here, bloody joist there, which is a bit of a newbie move. But yeah, so bit of Swiss cheese in the roof on that way. So we'll put a maintenance-free junction box in where the old light fittings were, and we've basically then looped it out, and basically it'll go round through. So this section here, this is the end of our run for this main one, and then we've got these here as well. Apologies if you're getting dizzy because I'm turning around. So yeah, so these all link out. Again, maintenance-free box, bang up there. And then I've kept all the discs. You may have seen Chris from the CGR shop do this as well, and a few of the other guys do it as well. Keep your discs, okay, when you cut your ceiling out, if you've got to repair them. Bit of batten, just over, so a bit of batten, screw it up in there, put your plug in, screw that in, and then you can just seal it. Now, because obviously this is a textured ceiling, I don't need to do a really nice good finish. Excuse me. You know, the idea is we leave it a little bit rough. So top tip is get a bit of decorator's cork, sorry. And what you can do is you can, when you're doing that, or some paint, let it start to set and then just brush it over. So once you've sealed it, you can then just brush it over and stipple it and give it that rough look. And then eventually, nobody will know it here. The ceiling, I believe the client is going to paint anyway because it's a little bit old and it needs a new coat. So by the time I may not even need to do that, but stipple that and job done. So I'm going to get the rest of the spots in and then I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Right guys, that is us done on this job. All the fittings have been fitted, the lights are in, the holes have been refilled. So let's turn you around and show you around. So we've got the double socket spurred off from the ring final circuit, aerial point, so they're in zones, goes down to that one. We've got a new dimmer switch in. Basically this was actually in a 16mm back box, so had to cut that out. So client's obviously gonna, I've just patched it up where the plaster fell off, so client's gonna fill that. Spots are in. These are my go-to spots. I use JCC V50s just because you can obviously, you've got two different color options on them. They're, you know, push fit connectors. You can then take the actual lights out if you need to. So two zones effectively. So we've got the 4 spots here that look after this little area here. This is going to be for the dining area, and then you've got 6 spots in this bit. Which is mainly the living area. So client's going to get a corner sofa and stuff. We're going to hold off mounting the TV as the client hasn't got the sofa yet. So when that arrives, I'll be back to mount the TV. We've replaced 2 of the original fire alarms for these ACO multi-sensor fire alarms, interlinked. So there's one here and one upstairs. And then if we go outside, the aerial point has been fitted, so come out. I just need to fill that actually before I go. So we come out, service loop, always give yourself a service loop. Obviously, like I said, all the water will drain down, come to this point. Linianclips for the fittings, so they nice and tight and not going anywhere. So yeah, client's really happy with it. Looks pucker, obviously nothing to do with us, that cable. We're not going to tamper with that either. And yeah, that's it for this job. The next job that we're going to is a CCTV intercom system and wireless alarm, so that'll be good to film. And I've got a good friend, Tom Hatton. If you've seen him, Tom Hatton 88 on Instagram. So yeah, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like it. That's fine. I do these for you guys, so yeah. Please like and subscribe, and I will catch you again soon. Cheers.